This programme is the Porsche Club Championship Classic Resto Racing competition.
Hello and a very warm welcome to Brands Hatch, the Porsche Festival, and the focus today very much on those cars we've seen earlier on in the year in Class 3, the classic Resto Racing runners. Championship to be decided this weekend in our third and final race of the year. Let's see how it all unfolds. Brendan, what a splendid way to culminate the year. We were talking to a couple of the drivers in the Resto Racing Championship, none of them with any experience. What a marvellous way to tie them in with their careers and give them a chance to come racing.
Well, that's right. I mean, and today it's ironic, really, because you've got those absolute amateurs and you've also got Richard Atwood driving in the Boxster. So you're going from the ridiculous to the sublime, if you wish. But it's wonderful, and I do hope that next year they will continue on in this vein, and I believe Porsche are going to subsidise them again next year.
That would be absolutely marvellous to see. It's been a big success this year.
The other thing is it's given a lot of them a toe in the water, and they now see what they can do, and of course they got great aspirations to go bigger and better. So hopefully we will see some of them in the championship proper next year coming into Class 2, because they realise with a few minor tweaks to the cars they can bring them up to race standard, which is very, very good indeed. Long may it continue.
Josh, leading the standings coming here. I know you're a first-year driver. It must be very exciting coming to this point of the year.
Yeah, it's very exciting. I've just got to sort of lead the championships, got to keep my head.
First season of racing anything, isn't it? So it's a marvellous initiative that Porsche have put together, and it looks like you've enjoyed it, and the other drivers too.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the season. Yeah, as you say, like first real season racing. Not ever been in a race car or been on racetracks prior to this year. And for me to be able to take part in it for the dealership, my perspective, it's brilliant, because I don't think I would be able to do anything like this with my own money, sort of thing. So,
Wayne in a very iconic livery, I've got to say, for Porsche Centre Nottingham. Tell us about your year first of all.
It's been brilliant, you know, starting off taking the car from a road car and building it up to a race car ourselves in the workshop with the lads that are here, and now going out racing on a weekend is a dream, really. You know, it's I've been watching motor racing since I was a little kid, and to be able to do it myself is brilliant. So,
when did the moment dawn on you that you could be a racing driver as part of your work?
Well, as soon as we got the memo through at work, a few of us went straight into the boss's office, like, we need to be doing this, we want to do this. So, you know, to drive at such iconic circuits like the Grand Prix circuit and Silverstone as well has been a dream come true, really. You know, there's not many people that get to run on the Grand Prix circuit. By
and large, of course, inexperienced drivers, first-year drivers like yourselves, but we've got the iconic Richard Atwood racing this weekend. I mean, how does that feel?
I know. Yeah, it's to be in a race with someone of Richard's stature is you know, it's something else. It's an experience I'm never going to get to ever have in my life ever again. So just got to grab it with both hands and give it a go.
Wayne lines up on row 5. The grid headed by Ben McLaughlin and Josh Morris from Alistair Nelson and Ollie Coles. William Heslop on row 3 with Richard Atwood. Wayne Minogue and Jamie Woods next from Julian Morris and Stephen Brown. Carl Hazelton with James Cannon on row 6. Lee Taylor and Derek Stewart completing the grid. A fine grid it is. On board with Josh Morris ready for the start. Indy circuit this time, cracking start in red. From third on the grid by Alistair Nelson, who squeezes up between Ben McLaughlin in yellow and Josh Morris in blue. Morris is down to third. McLaughlin's recovered well to go into second place as they go down through paddock for the first time. Now up Halewoods Hill. McLaughlin's looking for the lead though, side by side, and McLaughlin has got the lead. There's a cracking start by Alistair Nelson from third position on the grid to go through. And these 986 Boxsters in their retro liveries looking absolutely resplendent in the sunshine here at Brands Hatch. What a day we are having. A Porsche celebration, a superb weekend. Ollie Coles busy chasing the pink pig. That's William Heslop. William second in the championship standings. Josh Morris leading the championship from William. Ollie Coles is third. Fourth position, Jamie Woods and Robert Dorling in the Premier Panel Skills car. Only 6 races counting towards the championship. We have seen a number of cars racing with the Petro Canada Lubricants Porsche Club Championship with Pirelli over the course of the season, gaining some extra track time. And a spin there at the back of shot. The Gulf livery of Julian Morris, I think that was, taking the spin and hopefully recovering on board with namesake Joshua Morris. So down Graham Hill Bend and along Cooper Straight they go. Ben McLaughlin out front. If you've watched the coverage from the Porsche Club Championship, where these cars have run as a class within the big races, you'll know that Ben McLaughlin is an experienced GT driver, so he's not scoring championship points here. By and large, most of the drivers are employees. There is confirmation Julian Morris didn't get going, sadly, and becomes the first casualty of the race as Ollie Cole starts to put pressure on William Heslop. Onboard view with Ollie. Ollie with a little bit of racing experience from MG Trophy, but is in the championship mix, so he is in with a shout of taking the championship today. But Ben McLaughlin, a noted GT driver, has actually won all of the races that we've had this year, and it all started off at Brands Hatch as James Cannon looks on the inside. That's the Porsche Centre Cambridge stroke Colchester car getting stuck in and having a good run there, but this, the battle between the point scorers. Ben McLaughlin's checked out. The pole position man was 8/10 clear of Josh Morris in qualifying, and Josh in the blue livery, which is the Wally's Jeans livery from the RSR in 1974. Chasing here is Carl Hazelton in the Martini livery, busy chasing Derek Stewart, the Scotsman, and the Porsche Centre Glasgow car coming under pressure from a man who's had a fair bit of racing with us to gain experience this year, as Carl Hazelton, and we've enjoyed watching him race, and he's really learning his racecraft here. As we said, most of the cars driven by employees from the Porsche centres, and many of them have had competitions to see who's going to get the drive. As we again join James Cannon there, he's been sharing the car with Harry Gasson this year, and the best result of them of 5th position in terms of point scoring, 6th position in class in the race, obviously behind Ben McLaughlin, but have been running well. Wherever you look, whatever level of experience you're looking at in this championship, there are battles going on, and as Brendan said, it'll be superb to see this initiative backed by Porsche again next year. We really hope that these guys do come back, and it just shows, as Brendan said, what these guys are capable of. There is Ben McLaughlin looking for another win, not an outright win, but remember, these are the boys that are chasing for the championship points, and at the moment, second position in the race is with, in terms of the points, is with Josh Morris in blue, but he's coming under pressure. Derek Stewart getting stuck in here and about to try and close down on Lee Taylor in the Porsche Centre Hatfield prepared car. Meanwhile, Alistair Nelson, the leading point scoring driver at the moment, in second position in red, followed by the Wally's Jeans livery of Josh Morris, the championship leader, is on 137 points. William Heslop has 109. William having sadly had, you might remember if you were with us, had a retirement in race 2 here when we raced on the Grand Prix circuit back in May, and that's hit William hard, and had he finished would have been a lot closer to Josh Morris on points, but as it is, he's still fighting hard. Pig livery obviously from William Heslop there, third in this group, 4th position overall in the race, but third as far as the points go, and third place will score the driver here 32 points. in the championship. These 4 getting sorted out now, and it looks like James Cannon is starting to pull away. Lee Taylor coming under pressure again from Derek Stewart. And the key thing again you'll note, if you look at the back of the cars, most of them have the yellow square with the black cross. They are newcomers to racing. And how great is it that Porsche have got involved to get some potentially exciting new drivers in the mix and into the motor racing arena. There is the Martini livery of Wayne Minogue, who we met earlier on, Porsche Centre Nottingham car. He too has had a retirement. That was at Silverstone in the 4th round of the championship, but other than that has had a brace of 5th positions here at Brands on the GP circuit, in 6th place, 5th on points in the first race at Silverstone, as we ride on board with Josh Morris again. So here in the 55 car is Stephen Brown. Was on the podium, Stephen Brown, at Silverstone last time out. Josh Morris taking the points win. Stephen second, William Heslop third in that race. Robert Dorling taking the win in race 2. And Josh Morris working hard here to try and get the points lead. This is so close. So William Heslop's going to have a look down the inside line to try and take the second place in the point scoring positions. Has a look, can't quite do it. Ollie Cole's back in the Coca-Cola livery car as well. He's there, 4th in this group. Heslop goes round the outside. What a move by William Heslop. You can see the names of the cuts of meat on the pink pig there, but he can't quite do it. And this is bringing Ollie Coles in the Coca-Cola car to look down the inside line. The Porsche Centre Swindon car really getting stuck in as well. And all of this is for the lead in the point scoring positions. Ben McLaughlin still leading overall, and Ben very much someone that these guys are aspiring to. There in the 58 car is Richard Atwood, another driver that they're going to be aspiring to, the 1970 Le Mans winner, racing with these guys, as you heard in the interviews. Absolutely superb, and former Formula 1 driver as well. Ollie Coles is having a look again at William Heslop, who's not afraid to use the outside line here to challenge for that second spot. Welcome back to Brands Hatch. What a battle we've got for the lead in the point scoring drivers, and William Heslop looking around the outside line there of Alistair Nelson. It's going to be a strange experience for Richard Atwood, because 4 cars ahead of him is the livery of the car that he drove to success at Le Mans in 1970. William Heslop, the man putting the pressure though at the moment on the leader. A little wave of acknowledgement there from Joshua Morris now, because coming up the inside line as well is Ollie Coles. Ollie Coles through into 3rd, but look at that, swapping back on the inside line. Josh Morris, the points leader, goes back through and into lead position through Clark Curve and onto the Brabham Straight. Wonderful racing, and you know what, it's these are effectively, you know, as near standard cars as you can get. So many developments go on in motor racing these days, but there is a huge argument for doing what Porsche have done here, particularly for the newcomers, keeping it relatively simple, and the racing just follows. This is wonderful stuff. And Heslop, look at that, talking about wonderful stuff. Superb move from the pink pig to go through into lead position, and now Ollie Coles is challenging for second. And I add, as Heslop makes a little mistake at the exit of Graham Hill Bend, but collects it up well, doesn't lose very much momentum. So Ollie Coles busy now chasing Alistair Nelson. So the Coca-Cola livery, which I think was originally adorned a 962 in the States, is there in 3rd. Quick reminder, Ben McLaughlin still the overall race leader, but remember, he's not point scoring driver because he is more experienced than these men. Richard Atwood in the white 58 there. There's the race leader getting stuck in now and about to effect a pass on Carl Hazelton, and Carl keeps to the outside line. Ben McLaughlin makes it through. The next car is Lee Taylor. Ben McLaughlin said a lot of experienced driver amongst the co-drivers that he's raced with. Shane Lynch from Boyzone in years gone by. A good mate of mine, Shane Bland, as well, raced with him. Shane currently racing in the National Hot Rods, as the race leader continues to make progress, but look at it, this is the battle for the lead of the point scoring drivers, and again there was a look there from Josh Morris, who is attacking hard. Josh really proving himself as a race driver. This is his first year. The car very nearly didn't get prepared. They had a fire at the premises where the car was being prepared, but they cracked on with it, got it out. And the point I was going to make there about Josh Morris is that he could easily sit back and just think about the championship, but he's getting stuck in. So too is Derek Stewart there in the blue car with the yellow top. Makes a great move on the inside line. All of these newcomers learning all the time. The Brands Hatch Indy Circuit, a super place to learn. It's such an iconic venue, Brands Hatch. Just a pity, isn't it, that F1 has outgrown Brands Hatch, because it's such a marvellous amphitheatre, a natural racetrack. Stewart now having a look at James Cannon. Can't quite make enough of a move to go through as we ride again with Josh Morris. And Josh has got a very, very good view here of these two machines battling it out in front, heading up towards Paddock Hill Bend. The onboard's giving us a great view of the undulations of Brands Hatch. So there is Ollie Coles out front. Will Heslop in second. Now a third position. Watch for the blue car coming into shot. That was our last onboard. Alistair Nelson is behind them. Then the purple and blue livery of Jamie Woods, and following them Richard Atwood. Absolutely superb to see Richard Atwood here racing, and I know such an inspiration to so many people, including these youngsters that are learning their racecraft here. And this race in itself, in its own way, part of Porsche's motor racing history now. It's a superb initiative this year. So, are we going to see Ollie Coles take a first points win of the year? Not looking too badly at the moment. There is the Porsche Centre Cardiff machine of Stephen Brown. Stephen had a great second position behind Josh Morris in the points in round 3 of the championship. And this is good stuff here from Jamie Woods, who makes it past Alistair Nelson. Richard Atwood still in the mix as well. And that the battle very briefly there for the lead. Derek Stewart still ahead of the 22 Lee Taylor, Porsche Centre Hatfield, and then the Porsche Centre Chester car of Carl Hazelton. And I say, Carl's done lots of other rounds with us as well. Raced at Donington Park and got some experience in the main Petro-Canada Lubricants Porsche Club Championship racing with Pirelli, and did the Snetterton round and raced at Donington Park as well. So he's got some good mileage in, and you can see his racecraft here is really showing well, and Lee Taylor taking the battle to him on the outside line. Those two having a very, very good dice at the moment. And these two for 12th position. At the moment it looks as though the 24 car has got the upper hand, so Carl Hazelton using that experience that he's gained thus far this year. And talking of experience, back with Ben McLaughlin, who is well clear, unsurprisingly, fastest lap of the race as well. But the battle continues because the leading points drivers are having to deal with a little bit of traffic, a little bit of overtaking to do there. Lee Taylor goes wide. I think he thought maybe they were through. They are now. And Ollie Coles will continue, goes across the line now. He'll know that this is all very good point scoring for him. Needs to beat William Heslop. There's only 1 point separating Coles and Heslop in the championship standings. Heslop the leader at the moment of those two. Second position overall. Derek Stewart still getting stuck in and trying to get past James Cannon here. James running at the moment in 10th position. Still only one retiree, which is Julian Morris in this one, as Ollie Coles having a little flash on the lights just to let Carl Hazelton know that he was there. Tricky point of the circuit there for somebody if you're coming up on traffic, if you're getting the blue flag, because that's an S-bend there, you're going left into Surtees and then right into McLaren, and it's difficult to know which part of the track to go on if someone's coming through. But Josh did make it through. So we can see the red car there is the leading point scoring driver at the moment. We go back on board with Josh Morris, busy chasing William Heslop, who's going to, I think, put a few points back here. Heslop at the moment on for 33 points in this race, and still busy chasing Ollie Coles. The good news is Ollie gets into traffic. Every additional car that he puts between himself and Heslop is a little bit of a gap, a little bit of breathing space for him. Onto the last lap. Ben McLaughlin is on his way to another outright win here. He's put on a super display in the Porsche Centre Bournemouth 986, and he's going to take the win. Ollie Coles and William Heslop are now clear of the traffic. They can fight it out even more as the race leader goes down along Cooper Straight once again. Fastest lap, I think, is with Josh Morris in the point scorers, but here comes Ben McLaughlin very neatly and calmly around Clearways and into Clark Curve, back with the leading point scoring drivers. It's Ollie Coles who's looking good at the moment. William Heslop has given him a superb race without a doubt, but the race winner is Ben McLaughlin. Watch for the checker. There it is. Ben McLaughlin takes the win. Who's going to be the first point scoring driver? They're still fighting it out, as is Richard Atwood. He's had a super race. Richard there passes Lee Taylor. William Heslop hasn't given up here, so this is the battle for the point scoring positions, and it's Ollie Coles there at the moment. Heslop's taking a nice wide line there at Clearways, could get him momentum as they go onto the Bradham Straight for the last time. We're on board with the points leader. It's going to be Ollie Coles who takes it. Coles takes the points win. William Heslop is next up, then Josh Morris third for the point scoring drivers, ahead of Alistair Nelson. Richard Atwood was next from Wayne Minogue and Stephen Brown, and a super way to get our weekend's racing underway here for the Resto Racing competition. Outright win Ben McLaughlin, point scoring win for Ollie Coles, and we'll have more of the same in race 2, please. That was fantastic. So here's how they finish. Ben McLaughlin, top point scorer Ollie Coles from William Heslop and Josh Morris, then Jamie Woods from Alistair Nelson, Richard Atwood. Wayne Minogue was next from Stephen Brown, Derek Stewart, James Cannon, Carl Hazelton and Lee Taylor in 13.
Ollie, congratulations. What a terrific race that was for you.
That was absolutely fantastic. It's probably one of the best races I've ever had, and I've been racing 6 years now, so it was so close. It's just absolutely fantastic.
Obviously, we've talked in this championship about being a lot of newcomers, but it is national level. You've got a little bit of experience.
I've got a little bit of experience. I mean, I've raced in MG Trophy before, so you know, there's quite a high national level championship. You know, club racing is very, very close, but it's put me in good stead for this championship because these guys, considering they're novices, they're quick. So, you know, if they carry on racing, they will be going places.
Shows how good they are, doesn't it?
Definitely, yeah. It's absolutely fantastic.
Very close race indeed. We saw when you came into a little bit of traffic towards the end that William was closing up on you, but you managed to pull that gap back.
Yeah, the back markers got in the way a little bit. I didn't catch him at the right points really. I always seemed to catch him on the corners, not on the straights. But, you know, it's motor racing, you've got to deal with it, so this is one of those things.
William, great drive, mate. Or Will, I should call you Will. Yeah. Super drive in that one. Very, very close to getting that win.
Yeah, it was. I was a bit unlucky. I made a mistake out the back, and it's a bit disappointing not to lead because I feel like I was a little bit quicker. But ultimately, he won the race. He was a better driver. He drove really well, to be fair, really consistent. But a bit disappointed in myself for not hanging on to the lead.
As a racing newcomer, you're learning all the time, and what a place and what an environment to learn here at Brands Hatch. Sun shining, massive crowd.
Yeah, but I don't think we'll obviously race anything like this again, but with it being 70 years of Porsche and that, it's made it extra special.
And Josh, third position. We spoke to you before the start of the race, but a podium, not a bad finish.
Yeah, so got third. Didn't get the best of starts really, but we just wanted to keep with obviously the pace. Going around, the car started to overheat, to be honest with you, a bit, so we started to drop back. I was just trying to push to keep my positions. Obviously lost a few, but well deserved. And it was just a matter of trying to keep up, past the back markers with no issues sort of thing, and just try and keep that steady pace to get that third place, and we came home in third.
Delighted to see Richard Atwood here. Totally unexpected for us, so a major surprise and a very pleasant surprise. How did it come about?
3 days ago, I didn't know anything. I was going to come here, do a bit of signing and that sort of thing. But then the guy who was driving this at Leicester, he left the company. So they were going to just leave it as an exhibit. But then somebody thought, well, why not run it? So, and I was the guy they thought to run it. So that's what I've done. But I try to keep out of everybody's way because they're in a championship. The guys who are not professional drivers, they're in a championship. So I stood back from that. Yeah, not that I could have done a lot about it anyway, I have to say.
How have you enjoyed the car?
The car is very much like a road car, but it's got nice tyres on it. They're light slicks, really. So they're very quick, quite progressive and very nice. I like them. Yeah, Paredes, definitely, yeah.
Wonderful to see you still in the motorsport environment after all these years. How often do you actually get to race these days?
This just now is my 4th race this year. So last year I drove, I don't know how many races I did, but I was in the 9 to 8 last year.
I know everyone's thoroughly enjoyed being with you on the grid and racing with you. A lot of the guys we've interviewed said what a pleasure it is to be on the same grid as you.
Well, that's very nice of them to say that. They might be thinking, I hope he gets out of the way.
Ben, pole position, you probably get fed up with people saying, you're the more experienced driver and so on and so forth, but maybe taking that point, what do you think some of these newcomers this year?
They've done really well, haven't they? It's a pleasure to drive the car. It's lovely to be here, but it's not about me. It's about these guys who have never driven before, who have built these cars for the first time, and all of the centres all coming together, and everyone at all the centres just putting so many man hours into building a race car, which they don't normally do. They work on road cars. So how exciting is it to work on a race car that they're running, and one of their guys from the centres is actually racing as well. So it's been really nice. Actually, is a good few of them that I'm helping out and just pointing them in the right direction, just with little things, some driving lines and tyre pressures and things. And it's really nice to see their progress. They've done a great job this year.
Carl, I guess it's fair to say you've enjoyed the racing this year because, as well as in the resto racing rounds, we've seen you in the main championship rounds as well.
Yeah, really good. Yeah.
Tell us about this season then.
Well, we're just trying to get as much practice as I can because obviously I need it, as you can see. we keep getting faster, but everyone else does.
Well, that's the key to the championship, isn't it? Lots of new drivers coming in, learning about the racing environment, learning your racing lines, learning how to race a car.
Yeah, that's it. And I have been practicing and feel like I'm getting better.
I'll just say, what are your aims for the last race of the year?
To get a better start, to do the best I can.
Derek in the Porsche Centre Glasgow car. Tell us about race 1 and perhaps a little bit about your season 2.
Race 1 was pretty good going. Went from back to four positions. Ended it well. Looking forward to my second race.
And how's the season gone for you as a debut in racing?
We raced at last meet at Silverstone. Went well. And this is our second one. So.
And you'd recommend it to other Porsche centres to get involved, no doubt?
Definitely, without a doubt.
Hopes for this race before you get underway?
Halfway through the pack, hopefully.
Okay, wish you well. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you.
James, very striking livery on this car, and obviously really good to see so many newcomers. Great opportunity for newcomers coming in. Tell us about your season so far, the races that you've done.
It's been pretty eventful. We've not had any major issues until yesterday when we crashed in testing, but it's just been a whole lot of fun. Really, an awful lot of work. A lot of people have put a huge amount of time in, most of it sort of off the clock, and to get here has been a massive challenge for everybody, but we're here and it's working still.
What would you say are the key things you've learned over the course of the season, you and your teammates?
That's hard to say, but it's certainly been, the whole thing's been a massive learning curve, but we're nearly at the top of the curve now, hopefully.
That's great to see. Wish you all the very best for your last race of the season here at Brands.
Thank you very much.
Ben McLaughlin on pole position. Alongside him is Josh Morris, Alistair Nelson and Ollie Coles on row 2, Richard Atwood and William Heslop on the 3rd row, then Stephen Brown and Julian Morris completing row 4. Row 5, Wayne Minogue with Carl Hazelton, Robert Dorling takes over car 35, James Cannon next from Lee Taylor and Derek Stewart. Lights are on here for the final Resto Racing event of the year. Out go the lights. Ben McLaughlin very quick. Alistair Nelson, I was looking at him because he made a very quick start in race 1. He's bogged down. So it's McLaughlin then Josh Morris. Round the outside goes Ollie Coles. William Heslop in pink looking on the inside to challenge for third place. Robert Dorling is next. Then Richard Atwood, followed by Julian Morris as they go up towards Druids for the first time. Outside line here for Coles. He's trying to grab points, of course. Ollie Coles is now second in the standings by my reckonings on 3 points ahead of William Heslop. So those two battling for second in the championship. Josh Morris realistically only has to finish to grab the inaugural championship. Wayne Minogue right in the thick of things. Derek Stewart about to effect a pass along Cooper Straight. Watch for the blue car with the yellow top. Goes through, made the manoeuvre. He's got Carl Hazelton immediately ahead of him. The 46 car of Wayne Minogue here, busy looking at Alistair Nelson on the outside line. Now, bear in mind, Alistair was in the lead at turn 1 in race number 1 and really got bogged down off the start, but he's making good progress here on the outside line. So heading up behind James Cannon at the moment, and he's going to go on the inside line here, the 21. The Porsche Centre Wilmslow car makes good progress, passes James Cannon. James in his second event of the year. The car was pedalled by Harry Gasson for Porsche Centre Cambridge Colchester earlier on in the season. And several cars have been shared. Derek Stewart's picked off another place now, so he's picked off 2 since the start. The Scotsman we heard from just before the start of the race. As we watch again, Alistair Nelson about to try and get stuck in and past the Golf livery there of Julian Morris. Wayne Minogue's got a good view of the battles going on ahead of him. There is Morris, there is Nelson busy chasing him, and you can see the lead group starting to develop a bit of a battle and a bit of a gap, and that's because these guys are all battling hard. On board with Wayne Minogue. He's going to have a look at the inside line here of Stephen Brown, but Stephen swoops across, I think partly in defence, maybe also partly trying to chase James Cannon immediately in front of him. And now Wayne Minogue's going to get the pass done, inside line, down into Graham Hill Bend. And that was a good pass by the Porsche Centre Nottingham car, the driver of whom we met before the start of race 1. Absolutely loving his racing. And as I say, there's battling everywhere in this field, absolutely superb. James Cannon now trying to have a go at Julian Morris. And Wayne Minogue's got a super view of this. Wayne's going to look up the inside line. That gap's going to close up as they come along Clark Curve. Back with the leader, Ben McLaughlin. Yellow goes through. This is the battle for the lead of the point scoring positions now. And Josh Morris is going to be passed here because he runs wide going into Druids, and Ollie Coles goes through. Ollie, not a professional racing driver, but does have a little bit of experience of MG Trophy, goes into looking for a double here. William Heslop next up. Championship points at the moment. Morris on 169, Coles on 145, Heslop 142. Coles really only needs to finish this race to grab the title, but he'll fight. I thought he was fighting pretty hard in race number 1 for points, which was good to see. Look at this battle as well. Through Surtees, now into McLaren, heading round into Clearways. Julian Morris coming under pressure from Stephen Brown. Derek Stewart in behind is gaining more and more confidence as the race continues. Wayne Minogue's got some clear track ahead of him at the moment. Nice gesticulation from him there, going past his pit signaller. So Coles trying to get away here, Ollie Coles, in the Coca-Cola livery. The livery originally sported on a 962 by Bob Aiken in the States. And Bob was co-driven, amongst many others, by Derek Bell, who is, of course, a UK Porsche legend, and here this weekend as well. It was great to see Derek. And there is Derek Stewart, another Derek, up ahead of Carl Hazelton. That was a nice little chat with Carl, really enjoying his racing. He's, as we said, been out in most of the rounds this year. I think the only one Carl missed was the Silverstone International one from the main Porsche Club Championship. But has had a fair bit of track time and bedding himself in very nicely. As you can see, everyone's found someone to race with. But back with the leader. This is looking a lot more settled at the moment for Ollie Coles. So Coles the leader. This is the battle for second place on the points. And Heslop third in the championship, up ahead of Josh Morris. Heslop makes a little mistake there, ran wide. Kept his composure though, which was absolutely key to retaining second place. We ride on board with Josh Morris along Cooper Straight. Josh looks in his mirror just to see what's behind him. It's a fair old gap at the moment. And it's Robert Dorling. Now Robert Dorling's car, I think, was the fastest lap of the point scoring drivers in race 1 in the hands of Jamie Woods, but the timing team don't publish who has the fastest lap of the point scorers. You just get the outright fastest lap, which was Ben McLaughlin. But I had a look through the sheets and I'm fairly sure that car with James Woods at the controls, the Premier Panel Skills car, was the fastest lap. But clearly a quick car. Coming under pressure from Richard Atwood. Richard now, as he rightly said in his interview, doesn't want to interfere with these guys that are vying for the championship. And this guy driving superbly, so good. Not only for these drivers to race against the likes of Richard Atwood, but also for the spectators that are here as well. And as much as this is a race meeting, this is an exhibition, a display, a festival, and there are so many Porsches to see. And in the circuit, Heslop makes a little mistake, runs wide, he's on the grass, keep it out of the gravel, the rear wheels go on. He held on to that very, very well indeed to Will Heslop in the Pink Pig. Pink Pig, of course, another legendary livery, which we'll come back to because we're on with the race leader, Ben McLaughlin. Unsurprisingly, fastest lap once again for Ben in the Porsche Centre Bournemouth car, and is a super shot. It shows you how far ahead he is of Ollie Coles at the back of the Cooper Straight, still in second place. But Ben McLaughlin in fine fettle, giving a very good display as we drop a wee bit further down the order with Julian Morris leading this group. Well, this battle, Julian Morris up ahead of Derek Stewart and then Carl Hazelton, 10th, 11th and 12th position in the race at the moment, and James Cannon just ahead of them. Here comes James. He's got a bit of breathing space at the minute, but Derek Stewart, who I think if you look at it, has probably made the most progress through the field of any of the drivers. He's made 2 or 3 passes. So he's having a good race. Richard Atwood busy putting the pressure at the moment on Robert Dorling. Robert, the point scoring winner in Silverstone race 2, race 4 of the championship this year. And that's a quick car, that Premier Panel Skills car. 2 quick drivers as well that have been peddling it over the course of the season. We mentioned Jamie Wood's fastest lap in race number 1 for the point scoring drivers. Alistair Nelson recovering very well indeed from a slow start, making progress through the field. Well, this is closing up again now, isn't it? Because we've got James Cannon being reeled in by Julian Morris. So James could find himself under pressure very, very soon indeed. And these guys dicing over 10th place. We'll see the lights on from Ben McLaughlin, the outright race leader, who will close in on them. Dorling up ahead of Richard Atwood and Alistair Nelson. Remember at the start of this race, there was a huge gap from the group that Alistair Nelson was in, looking ahead to where we saw Richard Atwood. So Alistair Nelson has driven very, very well indeed. His best lap time in this one, Alistair Nelson, is a 56.608. Not the fastest of the point scoring drivers at the minute, but nonetheless a good pace, which has brought him up to effectively the lead group. There is Wayne Minogue, some good onboards from him. Wayne running in 8th place, and will be focused, I guess, on Richard Atwood and Alistair Nelson immediately ahead of him. Nobody to worry about at the moment. Goes into Paddock Hill Bend. That is such an iconic piece of racing tarmac. Really drops away. If you've never been to Brands Hatch, or even if you have been to Brands Hatch or not walked the circuit, I heartily recommend the chance to do a track day here or walk the circuit just to get the real feel of the undulations. It is such a spectacular racetrack. So some pressure on here. Robert Dorling coming under pressure from Alistair Nelson, and then we drop back again to James Cannon, who is under pressure here from Julian Morris. Julian taking a nice wide line into Druids and closes up. Derek Stewart in behind, watching and learning all the time from those drivers. And then you can see in yellow we've got Ben McLaughlin coming through as well, so watch for the blue flags that the marshals will be waving for Ben McLaughlin. So a little bit of work for Ben to do. Look back and we'll try and spot the second position car, which is still Ollie Coles at the moment. But Ollie, remember, second place overall in the race, but the top point scoring driver. There are the blue flags in evidence. And Carl Hazelton is passed in the Porsche Centre Chester machine. And Ben McLaughlin, he's got time to pick these off as he wishes, to be perfectly honest. And this is an opportunity for these boys that he's passing to just watch and learn from him, because this is probably the only chance they're going to get to watch him in action in this race. Makes another move on the inside of Derek Stewart. Super driving from Derek, realises that the lead is coming through, takes that outside line and allows him past, but doesn't slow too much to allow Carl Hazelton in the mix. So Ben McLaughlin will now try and pass Julian Morris. That fell reasonably well for him along the straight. Julian keeps the outside line. McLaughlin through on the inside and will now try and tee up James Cannon. I'm guessing that's going to happen when they get onto the main straight. James has seen him. He's keeping to the outside line, so leaving a little bit of room there for Ben McLaughlin to go through on the inside line, which he does very neatly. So 4 drivers past. Ben McLaughlin having to think about what he was doing there. Our other newcomers thinking about what they were doing. And some good track craft being shown there. And they will resume their battle now, which they do straight away. Julian Morris getting on the case of James Cannon pretty much straight away. And having a look on the inside line here, in fact, is Morris. And Cannon could end up losing a position here. He's on the outside line. He was giving racing room as they went up in towards Druids. And indeed, Julian Morris gets closer, but not close enough to be able to pop through on the inside line. Down into Graham Hill Bend again. They will go. This is for 10th place, remember. Meanwhile, back with the main point scorers. That's Lee Taylor being passed in the 22 car. And Lee keeping a nice wide line there. Josh Morris goes through. Will Heslop recovered well from his moment off the circuit just at the end of the first half of the race, and is still in the mix as well in the Pink Pig. I was starting to tell you about that Pink Pig livery. Sported on 91720 at Le Mans in 1971. So many iconic liveries. You think about the liveries that we've seen on Porsches over the years, and you know, the Martini liveries, of course, well in evidence as well. And many of the race fans here at Brands Hatch today are busy trying to spot the classic liveries and tie them up with the star drivers of yesteryear. It's one of the Martini cars. Wayne Minogue still running on his own. 8th place for Wayne. Behind him is Stephen Brown. But we're back with the points positions. At the moment, it looks like the title is going to go to Josh Morris, because he is still there in the mix. Robert Dorling coming under pressure. Alistair Nelson. What a recovery drive from Nelson. I was saying that Derek Stewart's probably made the most places up, certainly on start. But if we were to look at the positions at the end of lap 1, without a doubt, the man who's made the most progress after lap 1 is Alistair Nelson. Super start for him in race 1. He'll be ruining race 2, but that's what this is about. All about learning for him as the top point scoring drivers come across the line once again. Is it going to be a double for Ollie Coles, who's broken clear now? Will Heslop's in the mix again. Josh Morris is under a bit of pressure here. Look in the rearview mirror and you can see Heslop is putting him under pressure. These two men, first and third in the championship. Second in the table at the moment is Ollie Coles. Coles, I think, he's going to consolidate that. Here's Ben McLaughlin, the outright race leader. And Ben has given a terrific display here and brought the Porsche Centre Bournemouth. I mean, what a car that's been so reliable over the course of the season. 6 starts, 6 finishes. Josh Morris has done that in this car as well thus far. Better not say too much, because sometimes the curse of the commentator can come into play. And Will Heslop is really piling the pressure on, right with him now. We go on to the last lap. Ollie Coles has got the fastest lap for the point scoring drivers at the moment, the race leader in terms of the points. James Cannon still under pressure from Julian Morris. They've had a super race, so too again has Ben McLaughlin, but we're focusing on these 3 guys here, first, second and third in the championship. Ollie Coles in red, immediately ahead of us. I think he's going to annex second position in the standings. Heslop's having a go on this last lap, because what I want to do is nip past Josh Morris and just say, you know what? Had it not been for the DNF, I could have challenged you for the overall title. As Ben McLaughlin takes the overall checkered flag, James Cannon has a little spin. He's on the grass. So James hopefully will continue to be a classified finisher. We're going to watch Heslop challenging the championship leader. It's going to be Josh Morris who's going to take the championship on board with Ollie Coles, who takes the points win. He's rightly delighted. A double for him. It's the championship for Josh Morris, just ahead of William Heslop. Super racing from the Porsche Classic Resta Racing competition here. A double win this weekend for Ollie Coles in the Porsche Centre Swindon car, and he finishes runner-up in the championship. We'll look at the championship standings later, but here's the result. McLaughlin from Coles, Josh Morris, Will Heslop next from Robert Dorling and Alistair Nelson, Richard Atwood 7th, Wayne Minogue, Stephen Brown next, Julian Morris in 10th from Derek Stewart and Carl Hazelton, and then James Cannon, the last classified finisher, in 13th.
So the final race win of the season goes to Porsche Centre Swindon's Ollie Coles. Ollie, many congratulations. A great end to the season for you.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was a fantastic race. And just again got a good start, following on from the race win earlier. Get my head down, just push forward, and then once I got into the lead, just tried to maintain it and just maintain the gap all the way around.
2 good races at Brands Hatch, sunshine, big crowds, can't really ask for any more at the end of the season.
Exactly that. 2 wins, 2 trophies, bottle of champagne. Get to go home happy now. We'll come back all next year.
Josh, congratulations, second position, another podium, but the significant thing is I think that makes you a champion.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, makes me a champion for this year's season racing. I'm really happy for the opportunity. I'm really grateful for the Porsche Centre Bolton team for taking part in the Restoration Championship. Don't think without it I would have been out on circuit this year. Definitely not with the money or the fees you have to pay. But yeah, really happy to come away today with a 3rd and a 2nd place podium. Sum
up for us how it feels to be Classic Resta Racing Champion 2018.
Oh, I can't even describe it. Like, I'm over the moon. Like, to be at first year's racing, I'm a championship of the restoration competition. I'm over the moon. I can't thank the people involved in making it possible enough. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, the end of the first season for Porsche Centre Wolverhampton, and Will Heslop, what a great race once again. 3rd position there for the point scoring drivers, and again you were challenging hard for that place.
Yeah, I just couldn't seem to pip it past, and then when I got past I thought, that's it, I'm clear now, I can chase Ollie down at the front, and I made an error on the last bend here and put me onto the grass and had a bit of a tank slapper, but managed to recuperate it, and I tried again, but it's difficult to get past when the cars are so evenly matched.
Summary of your first year if you can.
Epic, highs, lows, bit of everything, wins, losses, power steering, pump failures. Just been great from start to finish. Really enjoyed it. Obviously, thank you to Porsche Wolverhampton for giving me the honour to drive the car as well. It's just been brilliant.
Will Heslop finishes 3rd in the table. Congratulations to all of our drivers, especially champion Josh Morris. Ollie Coles 2nd. Will Heslop, as we mentioned, in 3rd. Jamie Woods and Robert Dorling, their shared car coming in 4th ahead of Alistair Nelson and Wayne Minogue.
Well, that's our first season of Porsche Classic Resto Racing Championship complete. Congratulations to Josh Morris, who took the championship. A double win this weekend for Ollie Coles. Let's look forward to a fruitful winter and more of the same next year. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.